I feel like I feel when the absence of drugs hits my body and I don't do drugs. So tell me how I know what that feels like, yeah. Am I feeling normal for the first time in a couple of years, maybe a couple of months? Spent so many nights drinking from a cup, but it's not alcohol, cause I don't do that. I'm a good kid, mama, I can swear on that. Not on your gravestone. And I don't know where I'm going with this, it's just a free throw. And I used to miss, but I've gotten better at it, so here it goes. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like. Feel like how I feel when I have those late nights, writing about how I feel until the daylight creeps up on me. I'm sorta tired, no sleep, ain't got no time for no dreams. I'm in my headspace, feeling real things. Matrix got nothing on me. You call this normal, see, I don't want none of it. Could we slow it down, maybe spell it out for the people in the back, getting lost in the background. Lukewarm with the thumbs fiddled, I guess I'm down, chilling in the middle. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like. I'm feeling normal for the first time. I see my friends wanna socialize. Real bright future and open eyes. Really love the feel if this is what normal feels like.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Glick's House of Music. Hopefully y'all had a good week, and hopefully you're about to have a really good weekend. Hopefully we can help you do so. If you're not already, go ahead and check out the network. You can find all the shows on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, X, and Twitch, X and TikTok. Sorry. You think I know how to say this by now. You can also join us live Monday through Sunday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can hang out in the chatters box. Get in there and add your 2 cents. We enjoy hanging out with you guys. And don't forget, you can also listen anytime, any place, wherever you listen to podcasts at, all at the Nonsensical Network, or you can simply go to bio.link/Nonsensical Network. You're going to see it scrolling down there at the bottom of your screen all night. All those links are down there. You know the drill. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Be so kind. Give us a listen and a share. We'd greatly appreciate that. But let's get to business. It's Glick's House of Music. You know what's up. You know I'm going to be hanging out with somebody. We got one Mr. J. St. John in the building with us tonight. What's going on, Jay?
Nothing much, man. How's it going?
Appreciate you taking time out of your Friday night to come hang out with me. I know Fridays can sometimes be a little hectic for musicians. If you're trying to book gigs and have shows and all that other stuff. But I was the genius that thought, you know what's a good time to do an interview on a musician? Friday. But I will say you are my last Friday night show. After tonight, the show is moving to Tuesdays. So
that should be good. Yeah.
Hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier for you guys, because I have a lot of fun getting to know you guys, getting to meet you guys, and getting to hear your music and share your guys' stuff with everybody. So I do appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me for a little bit tonight. What's going on, Arliss?
Is there like a tub I could put my books in?
Yeah, there might be a big bag under the cabinet by the sink. Okay. Sorry, dad moment. What's going on, Arliss? Arliss, the lead singer of the Southern Outlaws band, jumping in the chat. So sorry we started a little late. We had to we pulled an audible. He's a football fan as well. He'll get that. We pulled an audible right when we were getting ready to start the show. So no big deal. So I with that audible, I'm getting to hear music for the first time tonight. And right out the gate, man, I like that. That song's cool. I could definitely see that on my playlist. Where'd that come from? Because I know you're a writer, so that came from somewhere. If you don't mind.
Yeah, that song is actually like fully about like my time in COVID. Like that was like actually I had COVID writing that song. And I was like finally getting better. And I was like, let me hop on the bandwagon with all the other artists and maybe write something about COVID. I felt like everyone had a COVID song. So that's kind of my COVID song. It's just about getting back to normal, being able to hang out with your friends after quarantining, doing the whole 6 feet apart, a lot of online gaming. It didn't really feel like I was as social as I like to be. I'm a big, big social butterfly. And just didn't feel right. And so there's that. There's a little bit about what's the best way to say it? Just like coming of age, throughout the song, I kind of talk about people being complacent with where they're at, twiddling their thumbs is referenced, and how we can't just accept things for how they are, but we got to move on. We got to find what normal is going to be again. So that's sort of what the song's about.
Yeah, because you barely out of high school when COVID hit? Because you said you're what?
22? I'm 22. I was actually, my senior year of high school, like I didn't get to graduate, like walk the stage.
You were the COVID class.
I was the COVID class, yeah. So, and then college was kind of weird, but it got better towards the end. So,
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, everything being online and stuff like that. And fortunately for me, I too am a social butterfly, but most of my socialization and whatnot revolves right here on the on the interwebs with podcasting and gaming. I don't game as much as I used to now, but I still like to get on there and get on a little Call of Duty here and there and whatnot.
Yeah, so I'm all the way with you.
My life wasn't too but I'm old. I'm an old man, so I'm damn near twice your age. So so my life didn't change a lot. My job didn't change. I delivered auto part. I was delivering auto parts at the time. So I was just in my truck listening to podcasts or coming up with new ideas for shows most of my days. So I know my kids, being in school, it was a wild time, man, because it's like parents already have, all the duties of normal parenting, working, paying bills, cooking dinner, getting the kids ready. But then we became teachers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
24/7 with the kids now. Yeah.
You want to talk about feeling like a dummy? Here's my math. I ain't seen that in 20 some years.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just Google the answers.
Right. 100%. I'm with you.
But how long have you been doing the music thing? Is it something you've always done, or was it just something that crept up on you and was like, I think I'm going to be a musician or a music producer?
Yeah. Honestly, a little bit of my backstory is that I'm adopted. And so me and my brother were both adopted together. And
nice.
He had this really cheap, like Walmart acoustic guitar, and that he was trying to learn. And we had always had this kind of side joke that he would be a drummer like our dad was, and I would be the guitarist in some make-believe brother band that we'd be in one day. Well, my brother didn't have a ton of drive, it turns out, for the music world. So he was learning the acoustic guitar, and eventually it became a contest on who could learn the guitar better. This was about when we were 15 and 16. And so my thought was, if I learn this thing, I'll get a lot of women one day, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And B, which was definitely second on my list at the time, that I could sing in church, or maybe I could play guitar in church, because at that time I could not sing. I sounded, my sisters used to say that I sounded like a dying horse. So when I'd sing,
I've heard worse. Yeah.
right. So, 16 years old, I was kind of like hitting the puberty full on, finally like converting over to a deeper voice. And it was just a bad time to be trying to learn that. But, sure enough, learned the guitar pretty good. Had the thought that, the whole getting girls things is going to work better if I can sing and play guitar. So I was like, I need to do that. So, started singing, and just would come home every day after school and play and sing on the guitar, just learning like songs I grew up with, church songs or pop songs. I'd spend 5 hours a day on that. I'd forget about homework, my grades would slip, and it was a good time though. Lots of good memories. I got really skilled at the guitar, and then came to singing. And I remember I knew that I was getting somewhere with singing, because to me, my voice hadn't been changing much, but that's what happens when you have slow growth. You don't really notice it, but eventually at church, and they would stop saying no for me to have the microphone.
Nice.
Or they would, or my sisters would make less and less comments about how I should shut up. So that's sort of how I knew I was getting a little better. It just took a lot of work. So there's a video somewhere out there. There's a couple videos out there of me somewhere singing really, really horribly. So yeah, that's sort of how it got its start. I wrote my first song. I was in a class in high school called creative writing, and I was tasked to write a 5-page paper, or you could write a single song. But the task was that you had to sing or perform the song for the entire class. So I was like, well, that sounds a lot easier than a 5-page paper.
Yeah.
And the teacher kind of did that because she didn't think anyone would do it. So I was, of course, the only one that did it. And I went all out, and I produced it on GarageBand, and didn't have any idea what I was doing. And I made like a little really crappy YouTube video for it and put it all together, and they played it for the class. And I remember thinking like, man, I really need to do this whole thing. And I was just like putting together really crappy things all the time. And now here I am. So,
hey man, you got to start somewhere at the end of the day.
That's a little origin story for you.
Yeah. My senior year of high school, I went to a trade school.
Mm-hmm.
So I only had one class, and I was working, but my one class was with this. It was an English class, and I hated it. Mainly because the teacher was like 1,000 years old, and I'm pretty sure she was a witch. But she gave me she came to me with a deal, because we didn't like each other, and it was the only credit I needed. And she said, I'll give you an A, and you don't have to come to class the rest of the year, but you have to do 3 5-minute speeches in front of the class. One is of my choosing. The second one is an impromptu one of your choosing. And then the last one is one of your choosing. And I was like, you ain't learned anything in the last year of dealing with me. I like to get up in front of people and talk.
Yeah.
So she thought she got me, and the impromptu one was about butter. I went up there for about 15 minutes in front of the class and was talking about butter. I talked about the Amish making butter, the different brands of butter you could get, what you could put butter on. Needless to say, that was the only speech I had to give, because that was the first one that she hit me with. And she said, I'll give you your A. Please don't come back to my class the rest of the year.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I loved it and what kept happening, for my last that last year of high school was after I did that, she gave me the option for all the rest of my assignments to just write songs.
Nice.
So that was like that was all the motivation I needed. I was like, you mean to tell me that like that was to a high schooler getting paid to do it because it counted for a high school credit at that point.
Yeah.
That was I had to go home and my homework was what I love to do, you know. So I was like, say less. I'll do it. I'll do it every time you ask. So
I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Yeah, you're gonna. It's kind of like me. You're gonna put me in front of an audience, and I get to talk, and I can basically say and do whatever I want. Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. What were you writing about back then though? As a six, because
oh yeah,
you know, I vaguely remember 16-year-old Glick, and I knew what was on my mind at 16 years old.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I really tried hard to have a lot of introspective thoughts or like, you know, what could I write about that would be different? My first song I ever wrote, it was called White Lies. And I couldn't even like tell you the lyrics anymore. I just can kind of remember the melody, but I just remember like thinking this is going to be really deep, and like thinking back, it was not that deep. You know, it's more cheesy than anything. But you know, it was a funny time.
It was deep
my
to
first,
a 16-year-old man. We didn't have any real world knowledge. You know, like yeah, we might have gotten our hearts broken a couple of times in high school.
exactly.
We didn't have any real life experiences. So like, you know, I can only imagine, you know, a 16-year-old writing a song thinking, well, this is gonna be inspiring. This is gonna be deep. I mean, what am I gonna write about? You know, if 16-year-old me, what I'm gonna write about playing football or baseball or whoever my current girlfriend was at the time, or you know, whatever. My I hate my job, you know, type deal.
Right. Yeah. My first song that I put out officially as an artist, it was called Tsunami, and it's off of platforms now. You might be able to find it on YouTube or
Actually,
iTunes.
I did.
Yeah, you probably found it.
I did come across that on YouTube. I kind of liked it. You were it was like an acoustic. You were just kind of hanging out in your room. I liked it. What up, man?
What's up, Cameron? Yeah, it was something a little different. You know, that's that video you saw. That was a little bit more stripped back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made that song, put it out on SoundCloud, and then a couple people in high school really liked it, so I put it out everywhere, and it got some really good streams. I got played on the radio one time. That was really cool. Nice. It was made on GarageBand though, you know, by 16-year-old Jay who didn't know what he was doing, and it's not a reflection of what I am now. That's why you won't find it anymore. Because I don't want that to be the first song people hear.
After you guys listen to the rest of his stuff, come hit me up. I got the hookup for Tsunami.
I got the behind the scenes. Yeah. I mean, you have no idea. So many of my friends know, like even songs that I never released, there's so many inside jokes about them. Just like little references. I mean, just the other day, yesterday I posted a TikTok and my friend Christian commented, you should write a song about stop signs, because I have this song back when I was 16 that he loved. He's one of my best friends. That was called Stop Signs, and he's just like, please put it out. I'm like, no, never seen the light of day.
You just repackage it and repurpose it. You know, it just, you know, don't keep the old recordings.
Exactly,
because it is so cringy. I hate. The other night we had a dead air night, and I was like, let's see if I can figure out a little trick on StreamYard. And again, as I said, I'm always learning new things. I learned a new thing just the other night, and I learned some, and I put up our very first live episode.
Yeah.
Of our podcast, and I listened to about 20 minutes of it, and I was like, these guys suck.
I can't listen to this anymore.
I almost forgot that it was me and my best friend from high school, Jeff, who's my co-host, my co-creator. And I'm like, God, these guys suck, man.
Yeah, I can't listen to this anymore. I get that.
Yeah, I totally get that. And we are our own worst. We are our own worst enemies and our biggest critics when it comes to creating content. I totally get that, man. It makes a lot of sense. Um, real quick, you'd mentioned like your TikTok and stuff like that. Shut up, Cameron. You'll be sleeping on my porch in September. You had mentioned your TikTok real quick before we get too far in, and I'll ask you to do it again. You want to throw out your socials so everybody can find you and listen to some of your stuff?
Yeah, my Instagram is just my name. If you type in Jay St. John, it should pop up, be the first one. JAYST.JOHN, no spaces. It'll pop up for you. My TikTok is same thing, but just add the word music. I think there's no period in that one. And then you can find me on all streaming platforms, just Jay St. John. So it'd be awesome if you checked it out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And if that's too hard for you, just go to our page because I tagged him.
Yeah, that'll work.
You're already following us. Just go to our page. I tagged him. Yeah, definitely check him out. Give him a follow, guys. He's got some good stuff out there. As far as your music goes, because I'm a music nerd, I love all genres. I lean more towards the country rock world or country and rock, but I listen to everything. And I'm not prejudiced against any style of music. If it gets in my ear and gets me singing along, bopping along, whatever, I'm down for it. I shock a lot of people because I'm an old school hip hop head. But what would you classify your style of music?
I think that's every artist's hardest question to answer. Yeah. So I would classify it, it's hard because the easy way out is pop, it definitely is pop music. I would classify it as Christian music as well. But a lot of my music, and I really like to say this, it doesn't have, not all of my music is going to have the largest religious undertone. Like you could listen to my newest song, Claustrophobic, and you could hear the Christian undertones if you listen for it. But if you didn't try to listen for it, you wouldn't hear it, So I hope to reach a little bit of a wider audience because of that. The thing is, though, when you can't have your feet in both ponds. You can't be a Christian artist and while also being a secular artist. So my feet are fully in the Christian artist kind of realm, working on a lot of Christian music. I hope people know that that's my intent behind it. So I just wanted to bless people, or to really people that want to have an awesome song without like a ton of like bad message behind it, then I'm your guy. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm not a fan of the, I might be a little vulgar at times. I might come across a little
you're human.
Crazy at times, but I don't like the music that's out there. That's I don't like a lot of the rap music today, but I don't like the music that's out there that's just like we're gonna be as over sexualized as we possibly can, or just like I don't want to say violent because again I listen to a lot of rock music and unfortunately there's a lot of songs. I'm a huge Megadeth fan. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan.
I love metal. Love metal.
Yeah, and so there's that violent undertone, but when that's there, like there you go, Cam. Yeah. That's like their whole shtick is just to be overly sexual or just overly violent. I'm like, I'm checking out. I'm good. I like music that I can either what up, motherfucker? Either relate to or have a good time listening to, or something like that. Very few artists have been able to play in both worlds with the Christian music or alternative / pop, whatever. POD, I think they were originally a Christian band.
Right. You gotta be either one or the other.
Yeah, Jars of Clay, which was back in my younger days.
Yeah,
they were a band that were like strictly Christian, but you would hear them on the pop channels as well.
Yeah.
Which was cool because I was actually a fan of Jars of Clay when I was growing up. They were a cool band, and I got to see them a couple times. Like I said, when I was younger, and my mom would force me to go to church. Now I'm pretty sure if I come within 500 yards of a church, I'm going to get struck by a lightning or or catch fire or something, something like that. But one of the churches we went to, there was a concert venue that that was a part of the church, and they would always bring acts in, and Jars of Clay was one of those acts that would come through once or twice a year every year. And I really liked them. So, being, 13, 14, I thought I was cool. I'm like, I'm going to a rock concert.
Right. Yeah.
But they were a good band. I still find myself every once in a while, they'll pop up on my playlist and I'm like, oh man, I forgot about this song or I forgot about these guys, man. I ain't listened to them in forever. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm diving into that rabbit hole. And this is a good band. I forgot about them. But, I think, it is very hard. And you do almost have to make that decision. And being a young guy and having your head on straight, I told Hunter I told Hunter the same thing. Knowing what you want and knowing where you want to be at is something you don't see a lot with the younger generation. So that's really cool that you know the path you want to go down for the most part. You want to do your music, you know where you want to be. So there ain't nothing wrong with that. So how'd the learning guitar and learning how to sing work out for you in the girl department? did you have a
Yeah. I had a stint where I was definitely living a life that I wasn't super proud of. Ooh, I wasn't living a life that I'm proud to say I lived right now. I was singing on the streets of Broadway downtown in Nashville here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that scene is definitely hard to walk the walk in as a Christian. Eventually, I would be singing worship music down there and then still end up partying later. I felt like the biggest hypocrite for a long time. Still have a lot of regrets. But man, the coolest thing is despite all of my troubles down there, because I was down there for a little under a year, making bad decisions, having some really cool moments. God was using it all, though. It was really awesome. Lots of people I got to pray over. I was the only person down there singing worship music. You know what I mean? Everyone else is out there getting drunk, partying, hooking up. Did my best to avoid that. But again, I was down there and I just shouldn't have been. Learned my lesson that way. I also had no accountability. I was just by myself, a young dude, and lots of girls that walk up to you, and that's all I'll say about that. So,
I'm a firm believer. I'm not the most religious guy in the world, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and we are where we are when we're supposed to be there. Regardless, and we all make bad decisions. We all make mistakes. As an older guy, trust me, I've beat myself up for years over the things that I did in my 20s, and it's like, it was all part of making me who I am today. And fortunately, you're young and you learn that lesson very fast and early on. But some of us don't learn those lessons as quick as others. But it's all that path that we go down to make us who we are and to make us I guess you could say better people or get us to where we need to be. I've always believed that, and I believe that people come into our lives, good, bad, or indifferent, for the same reasons. They might be there to teach you a lesson. They might be there to help you move forward, whatever the case may be. Again, 20-year-old me, hothead me would say a totally different story, but 43-year-old me says, you're looking back at some of the people that I've met in my life and even past relationships, even, recent past relationships. It's like, can't be mad at them. that wasn't where the book was going. This was just a little side chapter or whatever. So to get me to where I am today. So I wouldn't let that stuff beat you up too much. We all make mistakes. We're only human.
Right. Where I was going with that too is
I still have your cage, Cameron.
What I think is funny is about that whole thing, or not really funny, sorry, wrong word. The cool thing about all of that was I ended up meeting my wife down there. So she just ended up being in town for a ministry event from West Virginia and was leaving at the time. She had a boyfriend, was not interested in me. I saw her for a very brief moment, thought she was very beautiful, and wondered why she couldn't just live here. And we followed each other on Instagram, and that was all she wrote. And then a couple months later, I was playing a show in Nashville here, and she had, I guess, moved on from that boy she was with, and told me that she wanted to fly out and come see the show. And I was like, "You're joking! Like, you're not going to come out. I'm a stranger, And sure enough, she was joking. She was just kind of pulling my chain a little bit. Well, it worked because I was definitely hooked on her, and so we started an online relationship. Started buying plane tickets left and right to see each other, and then she moved down here, and then very quickly we ended up married. So,
yes, yeah, I was gonna say, I know you guys just got married. Congratulations on getting married, and again, that goes back. You were where you needed to be in order to meet her. We won't hold it against her that she's from West Virginia, though. We'll let that slide. I guess.
Yeah, she went to WVU, if that's what you're referencing. So,
she's a Mountaineer, huh?
She is.
That is a party school.
Yeah, it was. She hated every minute of it. She was like, dude, they would burn couches and throw it out of their dorms like every Friday. And I'm like, that sounds crazy.
It is wild. I had a buddy of mine who went there. He played baseball down there, and everyone's and that's only a hop, skip, and jump away from Ohio. So every once in a while, I'd be like, I guess I could come to West Virginia for the weekend. I was going to go to OU, which is another party school here in Ohio, down in Athens. And but yeah, man, that is a wild campus down there, man. It really is over there, I guess, for me. But no, that's cool, man. And like I said, I said it, and you hit it out the park by saying that you were fortunate enough to meet your wife while you were down there doing your thing. So. And again, congratulations on the marriage. Wish you guys nothing but the best. You said what, 2 years now you guys have been married? Just about 2 years. Don't forget them dates, man.
Yeah, I try my best.
Put them in your calendar. Tell her you got a great idea for a romantic tattoo and get them tattooed on your arm.
Yeah, well, she just got her own tattoo. She loves books, and so I got this for her. I'll try to show it off.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, so she loves my tattoos a lot, and she loves books. That's her thing. She does a book TikTok and a book like podcast, and so just talking about her favorite books, and it's definitely something. I support her all the way in it. So
my fiance, she's I call her a nerd. She's got. I told her.
My wife a nerd all the way.
Yeah, I actually named her Kindle Wendell because that's her other boyfriend, Wendell.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I've never related to you more on anything.
We'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, and she'll look over and she'll be like, "You should probably play Call of Duty or something." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Go ahead, save the world." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "I'm just going to read 3 or 4 chapters." Since she's moved in with me, she's lived with me about a year now, maybe a little over a year. I think something like that. No, she hasn't. Maybe about a year since she moved in. She's read like 500 daggone books on her Kindle.
Yep.
I'm like, I haven't even read 5 books in my entire life.
Right. I'm like all the way there. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I read like maybe 2 books a year, 3 books a year, if you don't
Yeah.
not counting the Bible,
Yeah.
like for enjoyment, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I do it, if it's got to be an awesome book that hooks me if I'm going to read. And she just flies through it. Like she reads a book a day. I swear to God. So,
Yeah, I think my fiance, man, I think she's like that. 1 or 2 books a day. Like she likes to take baths when she's home during the week if I'm doing the podcast. And she's like, "Yeah, I read a book and a half while I was in the bath." I'm like, "How?
yeah.
How is
How do
that
you
even
even do
possible?"
that? Yeah.
Like I can't. I read the books that I do read. I'm real big into the paranormal, like ghosts and stuff like that, and
Right.
cryptids. I'm also real big into true crime, but
Yep.
I'm not gonna pick up a true crime and serial killers and whatnot. I'm not gonna pick up a book like one book about Jeffrey Dahmer, so to say. I want to pick up a book that has multiple stories. So like my paranormal books, and each story is different. And I'm a big history buff, and that's part of the reason why I like the paranormal stuff, because you get a lot of the history, and stuff like that. But I don't have the attention span to sit down and read, and I would like to read comics every once in a great while, or a graphic novel,
Right.
because I'm an adult now and I read graphic novels. I don't read comic books.
Yeah.
But again, it's something that's constantly changing. I don't know if it's because I have ADHD or what it is, but I can't sit down and read a book. And if I do pick up an actual book, it might take me a year and a half to read, because it's just like, this is boring. I lose my interest on it and whatnot. I do want to take a real quick minute. I would like to play one of your songs here. We were talking about claustrophobic earlier. Do you want to give like a brief background on that or anything like that? Like where like where that came from, where you were, or mindset or anything like that before we play it?
Yeah. So I've been sitting on this song for a really long time. I wrote it probably 4 years ago,
Oh wow.
3 or 4 years ago, and had it produced. Not the best, just a demo. Finally came to the point where I was sitting down with my friend Brandon. A lot of people know him as Beacon Light. He's a Christian rapper,
Mhm.
pretty awesome guy, and bumped into him. He lives here now. Knew him back home in Wisconsin and Michigan. Bumped into him down here, and we got lunch, and he really just encouraged me that I needed to get back into releasing music. And so I was like, all right, well, Brandon, what do I do? He was like, Jay, you need to get like 10 songs completely done and a lot of content made for all of them. And then you just got to steady release that. And then as you have that stuff built up, then you can get the rest of your stuff. You can work on new stuff as that's sort of coming out. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. So I got together all of the rest of my music that I felt really proud of over the last couple of years. And Claustrophobic was one that I've always just felt really proud of. And I felt like it was very fitting to be the first song that came out, kind of starting back up my music career. So
Yeah.
really excited to come out with it. It's about feeling like you're not at a good spot to have any sort of relationship, whether it be a friend or, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just like you're not going to be good for them. So, take a couple steps back from me. Like I'm going to hurt you. And if you don't take a couple steps back, I'm sorry for what happens. Like I'm just not in a good spot. And I like to think that when I wrote it, I was really felt like I was saying those things to God. Like I was like, God, I don't want to be close to you right now. I don't feel like I'm worthy to be close to you. I'm a mess. Don't know what I'm doing with my life. And so I was just kind of writing from that pain. Thankfully, God is, who he is. He's a great father, and he always comes back and reassures you. But But I like to kind of keep it open ended in this song because it's like a lot of people don't, you're not at that point where you at the resolution. Now that I am there 4 years later, I still have seasons like that. You have a season and you have seasons like that where you feel like you need to push people away, and that's what this song's about.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that's one of the biggest struggles with dealing with mental health.
Yeah.
You're constantly, when you find yourself in those dark places, you want to push people away, and that's the great thing about faith. Whatever religion you believe in or whatever you follow, is that having that faith. That's the great thing about it. At the end of the day, is being able to kind of fall back on it and rely on it, and to kind of have that as a safety net. And that's like, and the great thing about what you just said there is, the nice thing about music is we all interpret it differently. You might have been feeling one way when you wrote the song, but somebody else listens to it and they interpret it and it hits them a totally different way. But I'm gonna shut up because I have a hard time doing that, and we're gonna play the song. This is Claustrophobic, and you just released this, correct? Just not too long ago, like the full song.
Yep.
So
a couple weeks ago. So
yeah. This was a song that grabbed this is what grabbed my attention for Jay to reach out to him. Was a couple of your little snippet posts. So we're gonna play it. We'll be back here in just a few minutes and sit down and listen to it and enjoy it.
Let's go.
I think I just need to breathe. In between the lines I read, oh my, just leave me alone. I don't mean to be mean to you. I know you think you're precious. Every single thing you say makes you sound so pretentious. Clinging to perfection, never learn your lessons. When you're gonna finally turn your focus on? Try to tell you I'm not the guy you want. I've been chilling in the dark for way too long. Coming out of it has just begun. Sorry, but I can't fix this right now. I feel claustrophobic. Don't get any closer. Take a few steps back. I can't handle that. I've been on the low end, feeling I don't really need to mess with your heart. I'll find all by myself. I'm just claustrophobic. Pretend I don't notice. Won't admit that I've been falling down all alone by myself. Claustrophobic. Pretend I don't notice. Won't admit that I've been falling down all alone by myself. This time last year I was by myself. I think I'd rather be there than here with somebody else. You make me feel so closed in and cut off, controlling my thoughts. Can't turn you off. Wish you didn't try to stick around this long. Told you I was lost and now it's all my fault. I knew I was broken, but you wouldn't be warned. It's common sense. Told you before, I've always been. Stop. Claustrophobic. Don't get any closer. Take a few steps back. I can't handle that. I've been on the low end, feeling I don't really need to mess with your heart. Now I'm fine all by myself. Somehow the walls closing. Over time I trust and they're too close now. I can't get out. Stuck here in this jail cell, but I'm still close to you still. And even when you're gone, my mind says you're not. I'm just claustrophobic. Pretend I don't notice. Won't admit that I've been falling down all alone by myself. Claustrophobic. Pretend I don't notice. Won't admit that I've been falling down all alone by myself.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, Claustrophobic from Jay St. John, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys go check it out. Stream the hell out of it wherever you listen to music at. Just go find it and just stream the ever living hell out of it.
I appreciate it.
Like I said, that was, I was telling you backstage, with doing this show, and my algorithm is all local, up and coming, brand new artists and stuff like that. And in that 30-second to 1 minute clip, if a song grabs my attention, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to go find you on Spotify. I want to find you on YouTube. I want to hear some other stuff you've done. I want to see, and I found the wrong YouTube channel, but nonetheless, still the songs that were on there I enjoyed, and I was like, you know what, I like this. I like what he's doing. I like these songs. I love Claustrophobic. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to it since you released the full song. But I was like, let me reach out to this guy. Let me give Jay a shout. Let me see if he'd be interested in coming on and hanging out for a little bit. It's not your typical quote unquote interview show. It's more of like a hangout. I like to get you guys on here. Obviously, there's questions that people want to know. Where do you get your writing style from? How long you been doing the music? But we've heard those for a million years on the radio stations and on TV. I want to make it more of like a couple buddies hanging out. Get to know each other. The audience gets to know you, not only as an artist, but also as a person.
Right.
Because, like you're like with your faith and you have in your religious background, that's not always going to come through. And when you hear a song, you might not go, oh, wow, this guy's definitely 100% Christian, because you're not blatantly smacking somebody over the head with it. Or, you hear some artists and it's like, then you get to talk to him and you find out, well, this is a husband, a dad, he's a truck driver on his free time. When he's home on the weekends after the kids go to bed, he sneaks down in the basement and he records his stuff. You know what I mean? Right. So it's cool to kind of get that behind the scenes knowledge of the artist. Speaking of the behind the scenes things, when you're not working, because as we were talking behind the stage, you're a blue collar guy like me. You're out in the heat, out in the sun. You're doing not that I spend a lot of time out in the heat and the sun. Let me be honest these days, but I put my time in. Right. But what do you like to do for fun, or what do you do when you're not doing music or you're not at work? There are things out there that. Whether you do them with your wife or on your own, what do you do in your free time?
Yeah, well, like you said, I work as a roofer. So when I'm not working my tail off, selling some roofs to people, I'm making music, or I'm spending some quality time with my wife. Just kind of hanging out, either. We go to the movies a ton. We've got the AMC movie pass. So
nice.
I think it's 3 movies a week if we wanted to. Now that's a lot of movies, so we don't see that many. But
it's you got no kids yet, right?
Right, we don't. It's like 20-something bucks a month, though. You know what I mean? It's like unlimited movies, and one movie ticket costs 20-something bucks. So that's
I was gonna say it more than pays for itself.
Yeah, if we see 12 movies a year, more than worth it. So, I'll be doing that. I've got a ton of really awesome friends. Right now, been making a lot of content that's been eating up a lot of my time. One of my best friends, Jake Collins. He does all of my videography and photography. Please go check him out. His social media is Jake Allen Photography, and his other page, he actually focuses highly on 21 Pilots, and he has an entire YouTube fan base out there, and just like a huge fan base. So like you wouldn't believe the fans that he has just about talking about being fans to 21 Pilots. It's awesome. Nice. It's awesome, and I really love what he does, and he's helped me with so much. Can't thank him enough. If you listen to this, Jake, I appreciate you, and you deserve the world, my man. His wife and my wife are insanely close as well, so it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, you can't beat that when your friends and your significant other, when everybody gets along, because sometimes you don't always have that group dynamic,
No, sometimes you introduce the wives and you're like, why didn't you guys click? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
yeah.
So I'm assuming he does all your your photo shoots and your video stuff and whatnot, like that you post on the Instagram and TikTok. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
what he's doing for you?
Yep. We kind of tag team
All
the
right.
editing
I was gonna
process,
say,
but he
check
does
out Jay's.
he
Yeah,
does
check out
some
Jay's
really
social media.
awesome work.
You'll see. Yeah, check out Jay's social media, and you'll see exactly what he's talking about. The guy does amazing work because there's some really cool photos, really cool videos on there. So, yeah,
Blows it out of the water, way higher than my expectations were.
mhm.
Has a really awesome eye for detail. Besides that, I mean, I love hanging out with my guys. I love a good cigar. You can see my poster my wife got me for Christmas. It says all cigar lovers love a good butt, uh, which is highly true of me. I love watching the Bucks and I love watching the Packers during their respective seasons. I like to game. You can see some of my gaming stuff back there. Uh,
The
so,
Bucks. Which Bucks team?
Milwaukee
The
Bucks
okay,
basketball.
okay,
Yep.
okay. I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
Buckeyes. I was going to end this interview right now. The Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm like, nope. Hey, we're done. We don't like Jay. Don't follow Jay.
Yeah. Bucks can mean so many things. You can mean the
Yeah, well, yeah.
Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of your Green Bay Packers, I don't know if you've seen the breaking news, but Jordan Love has just become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
He signed a 4-year extension with $220 million.
Yeah, it scares me because I know when that happened to Aaron that I think things got a little cocky,
Mhm.
I don't know that and I think that he earned that status though, like that was after like his season of like 4 consecutive touchdown Hail Marys to win the
Yeah.
game. If you remember that season where he was
Oh,
going
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, like you deserve at that point to be the highest paid. If you can throw an 80 to 90-yard touchdown, of course. But I don't think Jordan Love has done enough to earn that status. So, I mean, awesome for him. I think he's great. I think he's going to do really well. I just hope that he lives up to how much money they're giving him. So,
Hey, you know what? At least you're not the Cleveland Browns, who gave a guy who's only played 6 games in
yeah.
2 years like $1 billion guaranteed. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? The joys of being a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah.
It hurts my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll pray for you, brother.
Yeah, trust me, we need all the prayers we can get. So I appreciate it. I mean, in all honesty, we've had some, recent years have been good for us and good to us. I hated that we got rid of Baker Mayfield. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield guy. I love that Tampa's taking care of him. Tampa's kind of becoming my second home, and Tampa has kind of become the Buccaneers. And as much as I hate to say it, because as far as hockey goes, I am a Blue Jackets. Well, I'm a Penguins fan first, but I'm a Blue Jackets because that's our team here in Ohio. But I grew up a Penguins fan. But the Lightning kind of has a little rivalry with Columbus, and they got a little something going on with Pittsburgh. But Tampa's kind of, I got a lot of friends down there that are in the podcasting world, music world, and Tampa's becoming the new home for stand-up comedy. And I've got some friends down there that are into comedy and whatnot. And so Tampa's kind of become my second home, and I root for the Bucks. And I was so excited when they signed Baker Mayfield, and then when they re-signed him this year, I'm like, let's go, man. Baker Mayfield, you deserve it. I loved him in Cleveland. I was so mad when they got rid of him and signed Deshaun Watson. But this season is, for me, this season is put up or shut up with Deshaun Watson. We either got to go to the Super Bowl, or you got to count your losses and cut your daggone ties, because last year was an anomaly. 5 different starting quarterbacks and make the playoffs. Holy crap.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm a huge football guy. I'm a big football nerd. So
we could have a whole another hour just for football.
Yeah. Are you I'm working on a sports show. I'm just, my fiance might murder me if I host 4 shows as it is, and I'll make the new big announcement tomorrow night. We lost a show last week, which was going to be the sports show, hosted by somebody that I thought was a friend. I don't know. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk ill of the kid. I don't know what's going on in his world, but hopefully everything is good in his world. Hopefully he's all right. But he's not a part of the network anymore. But there's a new show that's going to fill that empty slot that I'll announce tomorrow night on the big show, which I'm really, which will be a fifth show that I'm hosting, which probably not going to fly, but my fiance is like, because I'm trying to get rid of it. Yeah, but this show, I'm very. I will say this much: I'm very excited to do it because it's with my son. He's only 11, but it's going to be a show that I'm going to do with him. So I'm super excited for this new project. But we'll make all that tomorrow night. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow night, Jay.
Yeah.
Plug your ears after the first 20 minutes, but tune in.
Sounds good.
But no, man, so you're still down in the Nashville area?
Yep. Right, we're in Murfreesboro right now, which is about 20, 30 minutes south.
Okay. And I know you were saying, and shout out to your boy Brandon for telling you to get back into the game, and feel free to send him my way. I'll sit down and chit chat with him. I've been trying to get more rappers. I think I've been trying to get some rappers on the show, and not the best of luck so far. I do have one coming up Tuesday night, so I'm excited for that. But I've been trying to get some more people in the rap game on the show, but shout out to him for getting you back in the game and telling you, man, hey, let's get back to work. Have you been doing any recent gigs, or are you at that stage where you're doing anything like live shows or anything like that?
So right now, it's a lot of just releasing and just trying to get content out there, grow the following. Let people know that I'm back in this thing,
Nice. Kick the door in. I'm back.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of takes a minute before you start to get people that are invested enough, want to come out to see you besides just your first. It's like, I like to think about it this way. You get your first song back and you got everyone that's like, oh my God, yeah, let's go. Let's stream this song.
Yeah.
Your second song back though. Now you lost all the people that are like, oh, I'll give him a shot now that he's back. Now all you got left is your actual fans, people that are going to actually support you. Same way when you start doing shows, you'll have one really good show, your second show, a couple months later, your turnout might be a little bit less if you're not doing the right things promotion wise. So we're really trying to just kind of promote, make lots of fun, interesting, engaging content. Just talking about the music. I really want people to know that I'm here to make really good music and for it to be something that's long lasting this time around. So
when you do and I totally understand that, you come back, you start something new, you're doing something new, you get all these eyes and ears on you, and then as you progress, that those eyes and ears start to fade, and it can almost be disheartening at times, but it's one of those things you want to keep pushing forward.
You lose followers when you first start. It's funny, man. If you go to my Instagram, the information, right? Like I've gained like 60 new followers this month, but I've lost 55. And I think that's funny. It's good, right? The growth is there still. It's just kind of behind the scenes. I lost 55 people that stopped caring about who I was probably years ago, but still followed me. Yeah. They realized, I still follow this guy. Let me get him off my page. Okay. So
right.
But I got 60 new. Yeah, exactly. I got 60 new people now though that are here, that are caring about me, that want to be a part of this journey, and I'm really excited about that. Takes a minute for that to kind of cycle through all the way before you start gaining another following again. So excited for that.
When you do start to get back out and doing shows and stuff like that, you think it'll be hard for you with with your style, or is there an oh, I lost my train of thought. Words are hard.
It can be hard. I know what you
Is,
mean. It can be
yes,
hard because I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm opening up for an act that gets up on the stage and goes, "What the F is up, everybody?" You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like my message and their message is going to be completely different. So it makes it harder to schedule certain shows. But there are venues specifically tenured for Christian artists, thankfully, and for believers, and kind of market their venues that way, and which make it a lot easier for starting up artists or for smaller artists.
okay, yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Was is there a stage for you? Because I'm assuming you want to get out there and you want to put your stuff out there. Have you done like cover songs before? Is that something that you've done or anything like that? Or and what kind
Yeah,
of art do you cover when if you do like kind of dabble in that world?
I just cover anything clean that I love. I
Oh,
love
okay.
Post Malone. Love him to death. He's a huge inspiration. So, at least in the secular world. And I just recorded at Curb Records last week just to help a buddy out. He needed recording
Mhm.
of and something to mix for an example for somebody. So we did a cover of Circles by Post Malone
Oh,
and
nice,
just had him
nice.
sing on it. And uh, that'll probably get posted on YouTube eventually. Probably won't get put on Spotify or anything like that. But y'all
Yeah,
can look out for that eventually. And took Jake along with me. Got some cool content with it and fun little project. So
nice. Yeah, man. That's no, I'm a big fan of. I don't know what it is about Post Malone, but man, I honestly cannot get enough of the guy. you
yeah,
know,
I know.
but not to judge a book by a cover, but you look at him and it's just like, man, you're like a skeezy dude. But then you get to listening to his music, and I love that he's starting to kind of dabble and play in the world of country.
Yeah,
I'm loving that.
he has the voice for it, and he does really good.
I could totally see you doing some Post Malone style songs with your man. I really am losing my train of thought tonight. With your style and whatnot, I could see you doing Post Malone covers and whatnot. Um, yeah, like I said, the guy, he lives the lifestyle,
Yes, yeah.
but he's a hell of an artist. He's I'm a hell of a songwriter, hell of an artist and performer. So not a terrible guy music wise to look up to. I wouldn't.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. I think it's really cool that you're back in the game. Me personally, I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to the new stuff. Make sure you get it sent my way. Usually, I'm paying pretty close attention. I'm gonna get. I told you backstage. I'm gonna get you into rotation, man. I'm gonna get you on the shows. We're gonna be playing your music. So I don't know if that's gonna help you or hurt you at the end of the day. But
Well, I appreciate the exposure.
you guys, you're associated with them nonsensical boys. I don't know about all that. We're not all bad, all right. We just like to cut loose and have fun a couple nights a week. Outside of that, we do some serious ish stuff. Outside of you got a brand new song that's getting ready to come out, and
Yeah. August
play that.
9th.
We'll play that here in just a couple minutes. It's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little bit different. It's not gonna be like a video. It's actually a new thing that I've learned on here. I can play it in the background and whatnot. So
Cool.
The cameras won't drop, the mics won't mute unless I mute them, or if I drop the cameras. But the song will play. But outside of working on getting these songs out there and whatnot. Do you have any other projects that you got going on? Are you trying to put together an album, or are you just trying to get your name and voice back out there right now?
Right now, an album like I'm thinking of like 6 to 8 month goals, and I think um, some sort of shows in 6 to 8 months is definitely going to be necessary. I would love to play. So Life Fest in Wisconsin just happened. That's a very popular music festival. It's a
Mhm.
Christian festival. Um, they just had that festival a couple weeks ago. Love to play that festival next year. That's like one of my main goals. So that's something I'm working on. Get some shows out there before that as well. Really perfect kind of my live stage presence as well. Some other projects right now, like you said, no album, just going to be a lot of singles. Like a new single every 2 to 3 weeks is kind of the goal, which is a lot for me, but we're making it happen. We're making it happen. So
No, I mean that's awesome. You setting up the goals and wanting to be, knowing where you're wanting to go. And like I said, you let me know when they drop, and they'll get played on the very next show. If they drop on a Friday, they'll be played on Saturday.
I
Do
appreciate
you
that.
do you have outside of church, performing at church and stuff like that? Do you have a lot of experience on stage? Have you done a lot of like out, and not necessarily like what's it called? Quote unquote street performers or buskers or anything like that. Have you
Right.
got the opportunity to get on stage and be on stage?
Yeah. So before COVID, I was opening up for some Christian artists at venues, and that was like my first kind of real stage presence. I feel like I got out of my awkward stage
Yeah.
first couple times. You're up there and you're like, what do I do with my hands? you know,
Yeah.
uh, you're up there without a guitar, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I've got to sing. I remember like the first time I got comfortable and I was dancing around and I was doing like the crowd high fives.
Yeah.
It's good memories. Good memories.
So that's what I was going to ask. I was like, that's where I was going to go next. Do you have a stage presence, or are you, yeah, the more, that's one thing that when it comes to artists, and as a music fan, I'm going to speak for me. This is my opinion only. I don't know if anybody else will agree with me. When Stained first come out, I was a huge fan. I loved their
Yeah.
music. I loved what they were doing. And then I seen them. Oh Lord, you probably weren't even alive yet. Wow, I've reached that stage in my life. Awesome. Family Values Tour, I think it was, or the Vans Warp Tour, one of the two. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the late '90s, and they were one of the acts. And Aaron Lewis got up on stage, and I say this all the time. I say this a lot on this show. Get over it. But he literally came up and he sang every song like this, and he didn't move. He didn't move around the stage. He just sang like this the whole time, and it was like, wow. I can't.
I'm kind of bored.
Like, dude, you got like Limp Bizkit and Korn and all these bands, man, that are putting on these their music's great. They're putting on a stage performance. I'm not even a huge Kiss fan. I seen Kiss back in 96, 97, I think it was. A buddy of mine was a huge Kiss fan. He was like, man, my girl broke up with me and I got this extra ticket. You want to go see Kiss? And I was like, yeah, I'll go on a date with you, bro. I got you.
Right.
Yeah. And
I've been that way for buddies as well.
yeah, like, I'm not a huge Kiss fan. I like some of their music. There's a few songs that I really like, but man, those guys put on a show.
Right.
I mean, they fireworks and running around the stage and dancing and very theatrical. The whole
Right.
and then coming out and doing not one but two encores. It was like, holy crap, this is cool. But all these years later, Aaron Lewis puts out a country album, some of the songs he writes, or where he was at that point in his life. He was very depressed. He was miserable. The record labels kind of dictated who he was and how he was going to be. So he was a miserable guy. He hated life. Flash forward to about 3-4 years ago, I went to a Louder Than Life music festival out in Louisville in Kentucky. It's a rock fest, and Stained was there, and I was like, oh man. But it was a complete 180 for Aaron Lewis. The guy was all over this. You know, he was running around the stage. He was dancing. He was doing the, like jump down in the crowd, high five, and it was just like, wow. Now there
changed a lot, yeah.
He got rid of his demons, so to say. He exercised those demons and was able to be himself. So I always ask that question of people, because I think that stage presence can make or break you at the end of the day.
Hands down. You have to actually practice it. You need to like go in your room or your living room, and you got to pretend that it's just like giving a speech. You got to pretend you're putting on a show for it. Get like 3 of your best friends, and you're going to perform that the way that you would perform it in front of 2,000 people.
Yep.
And be super confident and have something that sets you apart. So,
and that's the other thing. It's really cool. When artists, as a music guy, and I used to go to a lot of concerts, a lot of local venues as well. I still try to get out to some when I can these days. It's just a lot harder now. But there's a band that I really like local to my area, and I don't even know if they're still together anymore because the lead singer is doing something else. But nonetheless, went and seen them. They were opening for Friends of the Show. We'll call them Friends of the Show, and I was like, damn, these guys are good. These kids are really good. And they hit me up. They're like, hey man, we got a show at this. They were at this like bar in Podunk, middle nowhere, Ohio. And I was like, oh shit, that's my hometown. It's 20 minutes from where I live now.
Right.
I'm absolutely coming out there. And there might have been 20 people in this bar, but the way that the show they put on, you would have swore they were in front of 100,000 people. The lead singer Matt was. Shout out to Matt Warren, if you hear this. He was all over the stage. He was running through the bar. He was dancing on the seats. Like he was having a ball, man. And I think it's amazing when you can get an artist like that. That doesn't matter if there's 5 people there or, like you said, a couple thousand. You're still gonna regardless of the venue, you're still gonna get the same show. And I think that speaks volumes on who you are as an artist. And also, kind of, it can also be your own worst enemy at the same time.
Right.
So I feel that 100%. Shout out to Arliss, who was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still watching or not. He's the lead singer of the Southern Outlaws band, and they got a couple Labor Day shows coming up in Northeast Ohio, and I was invited to. I made a joke one night on the show, and it came back and bit me in the ass. But I was invited to do stage announcements.
Oh, awesome!
I don't do so hot in front of big crowds. And as my buddy said, dude, you host multiple podcasts every week. Almost every day, you're doing something on the internet where people watch you and see you. This should be a walk in the park. So that's the mindset I'm trying to get into. Is when I go up there and I do the. I don't even know. I really don't even know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to go up there with the mindset of it's just a podcast. It's just
that's
podcast.
all you got to do. Yeah.
So, I that's why I always ask you guys, have you developed that stage presence? What's it like? Did you get that awkward stage? Like you said, what do I do with these things?
Exactly. Yeah.
This is where I'm going to be like, what do I do? Do I put my hands in my pockets? And I'm a guy who, I'm sure you've noticed, I talk a lot with my hands. I might be borderline Italian. I don't know.
Yeah.
the way I talk with my hands, but no, man. I'm glad you're back doing music. I'm excited for it. I am a fan. I can't wait to see what you do next. You got friends here. You're a part of the Nonsensical family. We're heathens, just so you know. We're we're heathens and degenerates, but we might be a lot of bad things, but one thing that we are super supportive. And for me, as a fan of the music world and artist, I love watching you guys blow up, man. I love, seeing you guys. I don't want to say start at the bottom, but get started,
right.
and watch you grow and change and evolve and just blow up, man. And we're always going to be here to support you. Speaking of which, this is becoming the norm around here. I got exclusive music tonight.
Yeah, you do. No one has heard this song. If you're hearing it right now, it's the first time you're going to hear it. So
first time you're getting to hear this. I will, I will let you introduce it. Kind of whatever you want to say about it, wherever you want to go with it. I'll let you introduce it, and when you're done, I'll cue it up. This is a Glick's House of Music exclusive, totally unplanned. Didn't even see it coming. He right before we started, he was like, "Here, this one's not released yet. If you want to play it tonight."
Yeah, so it's called Slow, I Swear. I just started promoting it a little bit. It comes out on August 9th. I wrote it about taking things slow in a relationship. Basically, just not trying to hurt them, trying to respect them, honor them the way that the Bible kind of teaches us to honor people. I mentioned in the song that it's important to be led by God yourself before you're led by God in a relationship with another person. And that's sort of what it's about. It's making sure you're right yourself with God before you're hopping into something where you got to lead the other person. So
nice.
Yeah, here it is.
And because I learned a new trick tonight, you guys are going to have to look at my stupid face while the song plays.
Yeah, we get a live reaction from Glick.
Yeah, exactly. So here it is. Slow, I Swear. Brand new song. Not even released yet. Please work. I've never done this.
Got these emotions that come in focus. Knowing that I see your face, but I have to control them, used to abuse them. You went through the same. Take it slower than I ever have. Take these emotions and hold them back, even though it's hard to. When I see you standing there, I keep my word and keep the pace slow. It's not a race, falling in love with your soul, even though I want to. And I see you anywhere. I think it's slow, I swear. I present myself, I'm asking what's the point in it. I won't watch the tide. I refuse to allow myself to watch you phase right out of my life. Just met you, but if I'm being honest, I have never met someone who felt like this. The way we both feel is something I don't wanna miss. Got these emotions that come in focus, knowing that I see your face, but I have to control them, used to abuse them. You went through the same. Take it slower than I ever have. Take these emotions and hold them back, even though it's hard to. When I see you standing there, I keep my word and keep the pace slow. Not always falling in love with your soul, even though I want to. And I see you anywhere. I think it's slow, I swear. Promise don't run away, I'm in it for the long game. If you need to catch your breath, you can take mine away. Won't let us drift away anytime soon. I got my eyes on you and I've been working on myself just like you're working on yourself. Cause some people last year after each other right now. Got our eyes on heaven, let it in me now. Let it in me now. Got these emotions that come in focus, knowing that I see your face, but I have to control them, used to abuse them. You went through the same. Take it slower than I ever have. Take these emotions and hold them back, even though it's hard to. But I see you standing there. I'll keep my word and keep that place slow. Not always falling in love with your soul, even though I want to. And I see you standing there. Take it slower than I ever have. Take these emotions and hold them back, even though it's hard to. When I see you standing there, I keep my word and keep that place slow. It's not always falling in love with your soul, even though I want to. When I see you anywhere, I'll take it slow, I swear.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
How was the quality on your end?
It wasn't bad, but you could tell that it's
Is it playing for you right now? I think it's about to play again.
yeah, it's going to stay on. That song
start
was play all
looping.
night. Put that in the background. No, man, it wasn't bad. You could tell it's not quite perfected yet, but I like that song, man, and it speaks volumes. Just kind of from my perspective, you see a lot of people of all ages rush into relationships, man. In today's world with social media, a relationship almost becomes a social status.
Yes.
So you see people dive headfirst into relationships, and then 6, 7, 8 to a year later, 6, 7, 8 months to a year later, you see those relationships fall apart, and it almost becomes content for social media. Some people use relationships as a status symbol. On unfortunately, I was engaged to somebody like that. It was the brand new relationship and all the things that go with it, and getting all the likes and all the comments and blah 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 blah. And then, that's starting to fade out. Yeah. Now we got to move to the next step. So it was like pressure into getting engaged. And after my divorce, I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to get married again. And then there was that pressure because that was that next step for the social media, was to be engaged, so she get all the likes and the acolytes and everybody. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you! What a beautiful ring! Blah 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 blah. And then the wedding planning and putting all that on social media, and then, well, this is old and this is boring, and I'm not. Now I have to start a new relationship. And, for me, somebody who coming out of a divorce and having 3 kids and taking such a huge step, it was like, wow, that was kind of a huge blow.
Right.
So, that song speaks volumes to me. I'd like to say that my fiance and I took things slow, but we definitely didn't. But there was that connection. I mean, you guys, like you said, you and your wife were married relatively quick. You obviously have that connection. When the connection's there, you know when it's real and when it's not real.
Yeah.
My
the song is about just like, doesn't matter how long you take. It's just like that the thought behind you took the moment to hesitate, and you thought, I know what I'm recognizing. I know what I'm doing by getting into this is sort of the thought behind it. I do want to mention, I think the file got corrupted a little bit, because it sounds normally a lot cleaner than that. So it will sound better than that.
Oh yeah. I was going to say the original file I got kind of sounded like that. So it might have gotten a little bit corrupted and like transfer, and then I had to turn it into an MP3. I mean, it still sounded good. But I'm looking forward to the full on release. I think it's a great song, man. I think it's a great song about relationships, and people should hit the brakes a little bit. It's if my co-creator was here, he would be all over me for what I'm about to say. Because he's a bit of a man whore. But it's not about getting into bed as quick as you can.
No.
I've never been that guy. And again, if he was in the chat, he would attest to that. He'd be like, yeah, Chris is Glick's square. But and it's not just like rushing into everything, man. I like that. It's a good message. It's a really good message, and it's an even a better message coming from a young guy. You know, you're a baby, man. You're just a baby. So I want to ask you. I know we're getting close to the end here. First and foremost, and I'll probably say it to you again. You're welcome back anytime, man. You're welcome on to any of the shows you'd like to come on. We have a men's mental health show, and that's just real life. That's just real life, real talk. There will be a sports show, so I'll probably hit you up down the road if once I get the sports show started somehow, some way, and be like, hey, it's football season. Let's talk a little football. You into college football at all?
I'm not as much of a college fan, just being from Wisconsin. It's it's not that I don't like the Badgers. I definitely do. It's just being in Wisconsin, you're not as hardcore as college.
Yeah,
so it's just not as much of a culture thing there as it is down here in the South. I realized quickly, I'm like, oh my gosh, people love college ball more than the NFL in the South. And I feel like I was born and raised in Green Bay, Wisconsin, so all my life has always been only NFL. So
yeah, it's all Packers. Yeah, no, I mean, the SEC, that they're clowns, anyways. I'll just go ahead and get that out there and put that out there for the world to see. You guys are a bunch of clowns and you're overrated. But it's tough to be a Wisconsin fan too because I love college football. Yeah, I love the NFL, but the Badgers, man, they're a roller coaster ride. It's like we got one really good year, and then we're going, we're gonna get 2 good years, and then tank for a couple of years. It's just like man, there's no consistency for the poor Badgers. But so I would sidetrack squirrel. Have you? I'm not saying that you've released it or you're going to release it or anything like that, because there's always like, I wish I had the creativity to like write a song. Have you written a song or do you? Don't want to play it down. We'll just ask. Have you written a song for your wife or something like dedicated to your wife or anything like that?
I do have a couple. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I always think that's so cool when artists write and do a song for their significant other. I've always thought that was really cool. Yeah. I love John Legend.
One is going to be coming out. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I don't have a date set, but it is definitely going to be pretty soon. So
nice. On the flip side of that coin, how does she react to that? I'm assuming it was positive since it's going to come out down the road. But
it's funny you say that because that song we just listened to, "Slow I Swear," that was written about a girl in a past relationship like a long time ago, just a past experience I had. So it's like she hears that and she's like, she's a very confident girl, so she's not like, oh man, that makes me jealous. You can't put out that song because you wrote that about a girl. I'm like, it's a story. It's an experience from the past. It's not like I feel those things now for that girl. My wife's got way more, amazing songs anyway for her than anybody else does anyway. I mean, she loves it. I mean, I asked her to be my girlfriend with a song.
Nice.
I wrote her a song, and it's like a storybook moment. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. Is I was playing a separate. So I told you about how she said she was going to fly out and come see me at the show. She was just joking. Well, a couple of months down the line, we were now dating. And, I wrote this song for her and I really liked it. And I was playing another show. And I decided I was going to play that song just to play it, just because I needed another song on my set list. And I don't know, I was playing like 6 songs or something like that. And the crowd was all there. And then, man, it was a Halloween show as well. So we were at it was like a backyard house show. So it's probably 60 people there. but it felt way more because it's packed. You know, it's like a backyard. It's full.
Yeah.
And I'm about to start singing this song, and sure enough, then I see my wife, back then my girlfriend, she's in the crowd. I'm like, what the heck? You're supposed to be in West Virginia. So she did surprise me and come to my show down the road. And so then I got to sing that song, and I got to talk to everybody, and everyone realized, and it was a really sweet moment. But I got to sing her song to her in front of 60 other people, and it was just like me and her were in the room, and it was a really sweet moment. So
that's no wonder she said yes to be your girl. You put her on the spot, man. She had no other choice.
Well, we were already dating at that point. I had asked her with that song to be my girlfriend already.
Yeah, did you propose to her with the song too?
I did not, no. But I did because we met when I was busking. So I was at the top of this hill, and I had my guitar case open, and the sign on my guitar case said, "Will you marry me?" And I had like rose petals instead of money in the guitar case. So it worked out pretty good.
I'm a big softy at heart. You know, don't let the stature and the beard. You know, I'm a big guy, but I'm such a big teddy bear. I'm such a big softy at heart, man. I love stories like that. You know, I'm a hopeless romantic at the end of the day, and I love stories like that. That's so awesome. And I gotta say, man. You posted a video of her, and I think it was Claustrophobic, where she was like, she's adorable, man. She is freaking adorable.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, I started playing my song, and I looked at her, I was like, hey, do me a favor right now. Like, as soon as this chorus drops, just go crazy. And she was like, bet. And I was like, people keep asking me how many takes did that take? I'm like, that was take number one.
Take number one.
Try. Like, that was not a planned thing. I literally was like, hey, let me see you bust a move to my song. She was like, I got you. And did it on the first try, and I posted it. So,
that's all. Yeah, no, she's absolutely adorable, and that video cracks me up. I when I seen it, I was she's a trip. She's a good one. And I love that too. You know, I was going to ask you, you know, about the support. Is she like your number one supporter, big support system for you that keeps you?
Man, she's such an awesome. She's such an awesome support. She's also my biggest critic. Man, she will tell me I'll be playing a song, or I'll be singing. I could be singing like a verse, like I could literally be recording it and like focusing hard, and I'll hear through my headphones, through my mic. That doesn't sound good. And I'm like what? It's not even done. It's not even like an idea yet. It's not an idea till I recorded it. Okay, like you can't give me input.
you gotta keep those for like bloopers, and you can release them down the road.
Right? Yeah. I mean, she's funny, man. She'll hear something, and man, I'll see her go. Like she's really vibing, and all of a sudden she'll just kind of, like, I'm not liking it anymore. I'm like, all right, I'll go back to the drawing board.
So that's awesome, and that's my.
It goes to show you, though, it's all subjective, because she actually really hated Claustrophobic for most of it. Like, it's grown on her. So she just wasn't a fan of it, and now she loves it. So
yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, with the subject, topic line, and whatnot, but it's it's a great song. The lyrics are great, but it's also catchy. It's catchy as hell, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, I was scrolling, and I was like, who's this pretty boy? Scroll. Oh yeah, we get it. Nice photography. You're by the lake. You're by the river. Scroll. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That beat caught my ear real quick. I'm going back.
Right.
But no. And then I listened to it, and I was like, man, I kind of want to hear the rest of the song, because he's got me hooked, and it's a great song. Not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm a fan of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You started seeing the snippets of the new one, and I was like, I don't want to see where this goes. Like, I want to hear the rest of it. I was gonna say something totally. Again, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. But no, I like those romantic stories. I like those love songs. I'm a huge fan of John Legend. I love John Legend. I'm a music
Awesome.
guy. I love R&B. R&B is probably right up there with country and rock for me. But I
Yeah.
love John Legend, and I absolutely love his wife, Chrissy Teigen. I think she's a hot mess most days. I follow her on social media, but their relationship is like it's one of those things where, like, man, I really hope this isn't for social media, because
Right.
it's like, that's what me personally is. I kind of want that relationship. And he writes so many songs about her and so many songs about their relationship.
Yeah.
And she always pops up in the videos and stuff like that. And I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for it, man. I'm a sucker for the sappy love songs and romantic stories. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got, what you put out for your wife and whatnot. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully anybody who listens to this and watches the replays or listens on the podcast, hopefully you guys go check out Jay. He's across the board. Jay St. John is not hard to find. Go show him some love. Actually, if I can figure out how to work my buttons here, right there, just in case you have a hard time. Jay St. John, type him in. You're gonna find him. And if you have a hard time finding him and you're already following us on social media, just go back to the post. I tag them in it. I do that on purpose. I don't do that for my own good. I do that for you guys. So you guys can find them if you like what you hear and like what you see. No, dude, I'm excited for you, man. I will say you have a new fan in me. Hopefully you get some new fans from this exposure and the continued exposure that we're going to put from you on here. And I honestly can't wait to see where you take this to. What happens? Obviously now you're not playing the guitar and singing to get the girls. Now you're doing it for the love of music. You got your girl. So now you're doing it for the love of what you do. So I'm excited to see where this journey takes you, man. And maybe have I'm excited to sit in the cheap seats, so to say, and watch you grow and watch and see where you go at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
I'm
excited myself, and it's been really cool getting to talk with you today.
No, I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna ask for one more thing, so I'm gonna play one last song before we get out of here. But if you could just hang out for a few more minutes, usually what I like to ask my guests, if you have a quote that resonates in your brain, constantly up there, keeping you moving forward, pushing forward, keeps that drive alive, or any words of wisdom you want to drop on anybody else. But no, again, I thank you. This means, for me, you have no idea how much this means to me that you guys that you were willing to take time out of your Friday evening, come hang out with me for a little bit, come be on the show, and allow me to introduce our listeners and our followers to your music.
Right.
I'm in the same boat you're in, my friend. We're both just chasing a dream. This is not something that I take as a hobby or anything like that. I want to be a full-time podcaster. I want to be one of the lucky, fortunate ones that lands on the radio and has his own radio show. I want to get paid to do this. So, you and I are in the same boat, and I tell all the artists this, and it means the world to me. And I'm very grateful that you guys actually take a chance on some goofy bearded Sasquatch who has a laptop and a microphone. So thank you so much for popping up here, man. It really does mean the world to me. The last song that I have here is much like I've done all night, is Thornbush. You want to give us a little something about it, or
yeah. Yeah, man, I remember when I wrote this, I was in my childhood bedroom. My brother was there, and all of a sudden I started rapping the verse, because it's got a lot of rap in it, melodical rap. And my brother looks over at me and he goes, "This is the one that gets you out of the basement." he was like, "Oh my gosh." He was like, keep going. Like, he was like, freestyle the rest, like, just go. And he was just like, he was my biggest. He genuinely My brother, he's a year younger than me.
Right.
We're Irish twins. He is just man. He's my best friend to this very day. He's my biggest supporter. He hears every single song. He tells me what's good and what's not, and he has the biggest voice along with my wife. I mean, this song, what's about? Honestly, it's kind of just about like, kind of just about some thoughts in my head. It's about like when you shouldn't be so it's the whole idea is if you pluck the rose you're gonna get the thorns, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of messing around with that idea that you're walking into real life. There's some things that you should probably watch out for that you shouldn't do, and I'm just admitting in the song that I have a tendency to grab the rose because it looks really awesome. And then always end up bleeding because of it. And so it's a little bit more of a deep song. Takes some thought, but I really liked it a lot, and I'm glad I put it out. So
I think it's something that we can all relate to too. But in kind of the simplest form. You grab a hold of that, like you said, you grab a hold of the rose. You don't think about it. They got thorns, man. You're gonna wind up hurt. You're gonna wind up bleeding. You're gonna wind up regretting that decision. I want to add real quick before I play it. I think winning over siblings is sometimes more important than winning over anybody else.
100%.
Obviously, you got your significant other, but I think not even compliments, but some of the best feelings I've ever had, because I got 3 sisters and a broster.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, my broster used to be my sister and is now my brother, so I call him my broster.
Yeah.
So I have 4 siblings, and they listen occasionally, but one of my sisters came across the podcast, and it's not like it's a secret, it's out there, but she listened to a few episodes a couple weeks back, and she was like, hey, you're doing a great job. I listened to one episode and then I found myself 6 episodes deep. And
that's awesome.
So it's like that's a bigger compliment, and that's a bigger achievement to me than like, don't get me wrong, I love all of our fans and all of our listeners, but the fact that one of my siblings, because you grow up, you go to war together, you go to war with each other, to win them over is huge, and you and your brother being so close. My broster and I are the Irish twins. There's only a year apart that separates us.
Yeah.
So when I started this, he's been, he might not watch or listen to every episode, but he's been one of my biggest supporters. He was genuinely happy for me when I told him I was starting my podcast and stuff. So it was like, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Now, it's like, all right, I got that little extra. And every time I start to feel a little, what am I doing type, it's that little extra kick in the ass. Like, hey, you're doing a good job, So, sorry, this is how my brain works, 1,000,000 miles an hour. So we got one last song for y'all tonight, from Jay St. John. Make sure you guys show him some love. And it's Thornbush, and we'll be back to close up the show.
If you let me, I'll be honest. Love is something that I swear I have always wanted. Every time someone shows me that emotion, I just take it, shove it down the chasm of my pockets. I like to save it all up, use it all at once. Maybe a little too much, I'm addicted trying to feel some. Fake love put in the front, call it what you want, I guess it's still love. And I really like to hold it, I've been looking for love in a thorn bush, cuts all over my heart. I see the roses ever since 8 years old. I wanna hold it. Mama said take it slow, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a rose bush, cuts all over my heart. I didn't notice. Now I'm 19 years old, my hands are bleeding. I should probably just let it go, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a thorn bush, cuts all over my heart. I see the roses ever since 8 years old. I wanna hold it. Mama said take it slow, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a rose bush, cuts all over my heart. I didn't notice. Now I'm 19 years old, my hands are bleeding. I should probably just let it go, but I never listen. I've been on the watch just like your wrist, looking for love if it exists. Underneath rocks, see the diamonds on my neck. Material life, it oversteps everything I wanted. Fake love, no caution, hazardous emotion. Really love to hold it. I said I really love to hold it. Starting to realize not everything is what it seems. Might not be a definition, who knows what it means. I'm just trying to stay distracted like I feel I used to be. Enlightened isn't what it's cut out to be, yeah. I've been looking for love in a thorn bush, cuts all over my heart. I see the roses ever since 8 years old. I wanna hold it. Mama said take it slow, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a rose bush, cuts all over my heart. I didn't notice. Now I'm 19 years old, my hands are bleeding. I should probably just let it go, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a thorn bush, cuts all over my heart. I see the roses ever since 8 years old. I wanna hold it. Mama said take it slow, but I never listen. I've been looking for love in a rose bush, cuts all over my heart. I didn't notice. Now I'm 19 years old, my hands are bleeding. I should probably just let it go, but I never listen.
I'm down with that, man. I like it. And spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, 3 of the 4 songs tonight I never heard until tonight.
This is very true.
Like I said, my man's in the back, like damn Peyton Manning yelling Omaha, 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 calling audibles before the show starts. And
Yep.
I like it, man. I got 3 new songs I got to hear tonight for the first time, and I'm not mad at them, man. I like them. They're going into the rotation, so as long as you're okay. I'm not gonna play slow. I swear, I'm not gonna play that until it's officially released. But the other songs, I'm gonna put into rotation as long as you're cool with that.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I appreciate it.
Nice. So, like I said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for hanging out. Feel free to check us out on all the social medias. Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Don't forget, we do have live shows Monday through Sunday. We have a new show coming up. I'll give you guys the details on that tomorrow night. We do those on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You guys can come in, hang out, get in the chatter's box. We love the engagement, and we love hanging out with you guys. And if you can't join us live, you can listen to us anyplace, anytime, wherever you listen to podcasts at, all at the Nonsensical Network, or simply go to bio.link/Nonsensical Network. And while you're at it, don't forget to go give my man some love too. Jay St. John on the Instagram. He's the only one there, I promise you. And with TikTok's Jay St. John Music, correct?
Correct.
Once you find one place, you're going to find him everywhere. Hit that link and go check him out. Go show him some love. Keep supporting him so he keeps putting out good music. Before we take off, Jay, anything you got? Any last closing thoughts, quotes, or anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to, say thanks again, Glick, for letting me hop on here real quick and doing a quick little interview. Just appreciate, getting to talk a little bit about myself. You don't get that opportunity a lot. Getting to share a little bit about my past and about what's to come. I always want to share this verse. It's one that I've been memorizing lately. It's 2 Corinthians 12:10. It says, "That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, and in difficulties. For when I am weak, I am strong." And I chose to share that just now after thinking while that song was playing, because, man, life can feel hard. I mean, me and Glick, before we got on, we're talking about how we had long weeks. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you had a long week, though. You got, God's got you, and it's going to be all right. That verse explains it perfectly. And we're still able to do what we love because of that support and the strength that he gives us. So I just appreciate you guys for taking a listen today. And I hope that encourages you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's a hell of a verse too. Because I know a lot of times there's been times where life's been kicking me in the head, and I'm like, you know what? It'd be so much easier just to give up.
Yeah.
But no, man. Again, thank you so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate you. Welcome to any time, brother. Welcome to the Nonsensical family. Whether you like it or not, you're a part of the family. We're going to be here for you. Whatever you need from us. If you want to pop up on a Saturday night, we call it the Open Door Challenge. We drop the link in the chat. If you got something new coming out, you got something you want to promote, you got a show, let us know. We can have you pop in on any of the shows to promote whatever you need to promote. Or you see us live Saturday night, hit that link and jump in, and we're gonna open the doors up and welcome you in and say what you got to say, and be like, if you don't want to stick around, just be like, all right, I'm out, guys. I said my piece, but you're always welcome here, man. Whatever we can do to support you, just let us know. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't get to say this a lot very often, but this has always been one of my favorites. When you find yourselves at the crossroads of life, and that little demon sitting there, and he's telling you he's got one of the best deals he's ever going to give you. Always ask yourself, 5 simple letters, 5 simple words. WWNND. What would Nonsensical Network do? And then do the complete opposite. Be good or be good at it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys next. Actually, I won't see you on Fridays anymore. Tune in starting this Tuesday nights for Glick's House of Music. But make sure you check out the rest of the shows. There's good stuff on there.